Two deck superior format, three deck format's worse. Done.
This is a discussion, not a
Alright.
statement.
Alright, so we have
Discussion
myself.
over.
Okay, so we have the man Seiso. We also have Akimo for the first time
On voice
in
chat?
discussion.
Whoa.
I swear, you're
And then
butchering
we
all these
also
names.
have Fortune, who's the Mr. Cameraman this time around.
Yeehaw.
Myself.
Okay.
So, yeah, let's get started. So,
Topic today.
yeah, the top today is two deck format versus three deck format. Which one's better and which one isn't?
Oh, we've seen
So-
more 2-deck format tournaments, right?
We'll just start with the pros of each, like pros and cons.
Wait. Before that, like go over a quick description of what each is. I reckon.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's fair.
okay, so like two deck format, you use two decks of two different clans, so you can't use the same clan, and you must win it with both of those decks in the same round. For example, you can use, say, Dimension Policeman or Think Tank. Your opponent uses Bermuda Triangle and Nova Grapplers. Let's say your opponent starts off with Bermuda and you start off with OTT. You win the match, your opponent stays with Bermuda, and you switch off to D-Police. And then if you beat them, then with the D-Police deck as well, then you win. It's basically a conquest format where you have to win with all your decks. Meanwhile, with 3-deck format, you have one deck from every other gift, so one Force, one Protect, one Excel, and you have to win with at least two of those, and you both randomly pick a deck. For example, you can pick, say, your Force deck, and your opponent picks your Protect deck, their Protect deck, and then, yeah. And then you just keep going until you use all three decks, and whoever's won the most rounds, which is 2, wins that round. So that's both formats. And anyway, we'll just go into the pros now. So, Size, do you want to do the pros of the 2-deck format?
2-deck format. So you're not gift locked for
That's fair.
starters,
That's
so
fair.
it means you're able to play you're able to play to your strengths. So say like I know I'm a Force player, so I would probably bring Shadows and like Kagero, or Shadows and Gear Chronicle, whatever I'm feeling like. It's just decks I'm comfortable with, and I'm not gift locked as well. What else is there? The switching I like as well. Like you have to win with both, not just so you can't drop a game with any of them.
Yeah, it's like you can't
you have to win both. You can drop a game, but it just means you have to win.
Yeah, like you can't just take a dead deck and then just plan on dropping the game with that and then sweeping with your two other decks.
Yeah, so it feels like it's more everyone's playing the A game. What else is a pro?
Everyone plays their best deck.
It's also less investment as well, because you only play 2 decks.
That's true.
Like, most people will have 2 decks, and it's not even archetype like locked, like gift locked as well. Like you can just bring any 2 decks you have, or you just borrow one. So it's like it's also that as well. So you don't have to play with 3 decks.
Borrowing format can be borrowing decks can be the same for 3-deck as well, but like
but like you're not. You're also learning.
Has so many cons.
You also have to like.
There's so many other matchups.
No, for 2-deck format, you only have to learn 2 decks as well, which is which is like
format, you only have to learn 2 decks.
You studied less to achieve more. It's like value.
And like, what's the cons be like?
Cons, I say like
less
people can kind of snipe what you're playing.
Yeah. Like people can predict what's being played.
Like they'll see like if this guy is like plays these 2 decks, he'll probably play these 2 decks.
Like opponents will know your strength too easily, I think.
Another con would be there's less variety in decks used.
Yeah, because everyone would
you're not
playing
gift locked. You'll just all be playing like top tier decks and the counters instead of top tier decks.
Exactly, yeah.
And that's all I can really think of. I can only think of those 2 cons.
3-deck format. Who wants to do pros?
Do I just want to assume?
I'll try with pros actually. For I don't know, for 3-deck format, I think like, well, you can just borrow other people's decks and stuff like that. So I guess not really much of a pro, but like it's sort of like way to get into it. But
More variety.
yeah,
Yeah,
more
variety
variety
is
and
a huge thing. Yeah.
yeah, and like what Rotenks said, like with a 3-deck format and stuff like that, it's like it gives you a chance to use something that maybe you're not really comfortable with, but it helps you learn stuff like that. So
Yeah.
So I guess that's a pro as well.
Another pro can be it's a more casual format, so it's more inviting to new players that they can borrow decks.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, like 2-deck format's more related to the competitive formats you see, like
It's
with
just less
BGCS.
sacky. It's just
Yeah.
because you want to play like people want best out of 3, but if you play one deck, then it's like it might be
It's
skewed.
literally just if you lose the matchup, for example, you're playing let's say Neo Nectar and you first up against Mbaku, you're just like, I'm not gonna have a good time.
But
Yeah.
but in 2-deck format or even 3-deck format,
Yeah.
once that the deck changes after game 1, so you can.
Yeah, and you can just
So
be like,
that's
oh,
a bit of
I
a
don't
pro
have to
with both
play that
things.
shit matchup again. Because there's nothing less fun in a format than having to play the best of 3 in a bad matchup.
Yeah, it's just hard.
Yeah.
It's just
Not fun
it's
at all.
really tolling on your like brain and shit.
I don't know. Maybe like another pro for 3-deck format could be like it's less confusing, but I don't know.
Less confusing. Yeah, we've been over that. Like you don't need to know as many matchups against like 3 average decks and that. Meanwhile, with 3-deck, you have to, since like as we see, there isn't really a top tier protector outside of OTT.
Yeah.
Then the
exactly.
OTT player then has to memorize like all these matchup against like the other 8 top tier decks for each other gift. That's like the bad thing. That's like a bad thing about 3-deck. So we'll just
Well,
go
it
to
depends what you think.
yeah. So we'll just go to cons with the format now.
For 3-deck format?
Yeah, for 3-deck format.
Well, first thing is that you have to rely on borrowing other people's decks.
Yeah. Like
So-
Unless
if you don't
unless-
have
unless you have the money to
you
spend.
either pay a lot of money or you
Yeah.
either pay a lot of money, like not pay a lot, use a lot of
it's
money.
a high investment for a very casual format, pretty much.
It's a big entry, so borrowing is like kind of expected.
And this is
Yeah.
my biggest qualm with the format. It's very rock paper scissors reliant, basically. Like for those who are in Australia based, we had the Australian vs New Zealand Championship. The one for Nego cards, yeah.
3-deck
It was
format, by the
3-deck
way.
format. The winning player ran Mega Colony as their protector deck. So that was obviously an anchor, but this guy knew how to play it, but still,
But he never
literally,
he used that as game 3 deck.
yeah.
He never,
I believe he dodged every Excel without fail. So Megacon was fine if they dodged the Excel, which he did.
because people in that
rock, paper,
format started
scissors.
with Excel decks.
I'd say I sort of Excel. I never started with Protect, to be honest. Protect was always my second, and then Neonectar was my anchor.
Yeah.
And like this dude, he was confident with his like Protect being the anchor since he was expecting other people's more faster decks, which is normally a force deck,
Yeah.
to be anchor.
Yeah.
Like
I
it
guess.
did require some like forward playing, like seeding in Springfest, but like that isn't much. It was still literally rock paper scissors. Which is why I hate the format the most, because you have to rely that your protect doesn't match up against the Excel and etc.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of like it's kind of a dice roll.
That's the bad thing of gifts in general, to be honest. But that's another discussion.
Actually, that's a bad thing about this game in general, though, at the moment.
Yes, I think gifts are too skewed. Like they always make so each meta I've noticed is it favors a gift, not decks. It's more like
It's always been the gift that's the main thing.
it's like we had protect first, and then we're coming off the force meta now. We're getting into Excel meta, and I'm hoping they can find a way to like
balance it out.
strong decks.
Balance it out, yeah.
Not just strong gifts. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Essentially, Vanguard can be a 3-deck game because it's just force, Excel, and protect.
Honestly, this might seem like a really, really weird idea for me to talk about it, but I think like the idea of sort of like decks ended up converging into like maybe one type of like each deck being able to sort of Like
Mostly
and
gone.
end up for each deck being able to use each different type of gift in different situations and stuff like that.
Yeah, like I think Protect 2, Force 2, like Gift 2 was like
Red
like-
started to change.
it
Yeah.
can
Excel
give
got a
us
pretty good gift.
yeah.
Anyway, we've
Yeah.
gone over the pros and cons of each format. So
What our
just go
preference?
to
Who likes?
preferences. I'll start
Yeah.
off with my preference, as I mentioned just before, is 2-deck format. Mainly because I'm a more competitive player. Even though if I like to muck around a bit, I really enjoy competitive. And 2-deck format just supports that, and also I don't need to invest as much. Like for me, I prefer to invest in my one deck, which is Neonectar, which I maxed already, so I couldn't afford any other deck, which is why I hated the 3-deck format a bit. I still don't regret it, but
That's the
it's
cost.
also like
It's cost.
I don't have to rely on rock paper scissors as much, because that was
Yeah.
something I saw happen a lot. Like I would be unlucky
everything.
at my OTT match of the XL, and I'd be like, this is going to be a very uphill game for me. And then my Protect would be, my XL would be, because supposed to be like, yeah, this is really shit.
Fair enough.
So yeah,
Yeah.
who wants to go next?
I'll go next. Personally, I think for me, like the one I prefer the most actually depends on the meta that's actually being played currently.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah, so like at the moment in this kind of meta, like I like 2-deck format better because you like this meta is very like force and excel like big. It's like we're going into excel at the moment, we're pretty much force. So I like the idea of 2-deck format because you sort of like you still have a good chance of winning and stuff no matter what. However, like if we get to a time where like all gifts are like favored equally, where meta it's always like 30-30, I'd maybe prefer 3-deck format. But yeah.
That's fair enough. Like, yeah, 3-deck format in the ideal 30-30-30 is it will be considered the more. I think that'll be the more favorable format.
Yeah,
But
if you
I think
feel
it's
more fun.
hard to like get into that.
Exactly, yeah. With how Bushiroad supports things, I think it's just hard
It's
in
too
general.
skewed. It's like they don't. Their free clan sets don't even do one of each gift anymore.
Yeah. Like for example, like I don't
Maybe
know,
you
like
can.
yeah.
Wait, what was the last
Like
time?
most of the recent ones. I
Was
think
it?
the most recent one
Only
we've got with all
EV
gifts.
is what? Is Glorious Justice, yeah?
Glorious Justice and the new Dangerous Raw 2.0.
Yeah, but like every other time it's been Heavy Force.
Every other time it's either been Heavy Force. But
It's
no,
just Heavy
and also
Force.
Miracle Collection.
Oh, Miracle Fortune is just double excel.
And then
Every other
Triple G.
EV is like they're just
Yeah.
like Force, but
Like,
kind of like
Mysterious Fortune, that's 2XL, 1 Force.
yeah, but it's like
Uh,
Force is kind of like a main character gift, so it's like
Heroic Justice was double Force, 1XL.
Heroic Evolution. Yeah,
I think it's just like the unbalance in the amount of gifts there are in the game. Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, I think so too.
Protect has the least amount of clans, right?
anyway, so
I feel like with
who's
some
next for preferred formats? Are we still going over?
Oh, I will go.
Okay.
I prefer the 2-deck format because it allows people to play like their best 2 decks without like any. The only restriction is you're not allowed to stack the clan. So if you're like a 1-trick, then it might be a bit harder on you. But it's like I get to play my top 2 decks, and everyone's comfortable with it. So it's like there's no. What was it? It's a bit meta dependent as well because your favorite 2 decks are like Spike Brothers and Mega Colony at the moment. Maybe that's not. But then 3-deck format still won't be good. So they're both meta dependent.
yeah.
But you have less. Yeah, it's a less cost as well. So most people might have 2 decks, like to bring in. So you can bring, and you're not gift restricted, as I said. So
Yeah. That's fair enough too.
I think that's why I prefer it. Why I don't like 3-deck format is one, like I think what was it? It was a bit more casual, and I like to be a bit more competitive when playing. Like, if it's an event, I like to be more competitive. If it's like no event, I'm just playing casual, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, like for a local setting, I don't know. It's fun to try out 3-deck format in a local setting and stuff, but in the big.
Yeah, I think
tournament
we might just convince one day. Like it might need some prep. Like we need to make the event like
Yeah, like a month
2 weeks
ahead.
in advance or a month in advance, and everyone can get prepared.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's our opinions. But like, we'd love to hear what you guys think as well. We get some
Yeah.
discussion in the comments.
Exactly. Yep. We'll be good.
Right.
We'll try to reply as quickly as possible.
Yeah, like we'll reply. Like, give your reasoning. Like, I don't think there's any wrong opinion.
It's
in
all
this.
preference.
It's
Yeah,
actually
it's all
preference,
personal preference,
and
yeah,
the
so.
state is mostly the state of the game. So I think if we have technically it's 2 viable competitive formats. So that's
Yeah.
already
Yeah,
good.
so-
So we can like kind of like play around them.
I don't know. Maybe we'll put some videos about both not just trying these formats out and actually like
Yeah,
deciding again, make a new video about it.
all good. Like and subscribe.
Yeah. It's
Let's
loopers.
get some views, and
Signing
yeah,
out.
something special's got to happen soon.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.